Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you bearing shocking news. It wasn't bait. Hello friends, and welcome to the Sins of the Flesh update for Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is one of my favorite games of all time, and if you're unfamiliar with it, here are two unbiased video choices to catch you up to speed. But for the rest of you, the new update focuses mostly on cult building, but more specifically on growing and harvesting the new resource Sin. Sin is generated by throwing nudist festivals, serving up road sodas, riding, and of course what everyone was really excited about, sex. So in summary, the way to commit a sin is to have fun, a concept shamelessly stolen from all of religion ever. The last update was mostly focusing on improving the combat of the game, where this one mostly focuses on the cult. The temple can now be upgraded and customized using Sin. This doesn't actually have any gameplay value or make it better, but I certainly feel like the atmosphere adds a little bit of a punch to my sermons. To harvest Sin, we've got a few new buildings to choose from. The first new building is a tavern where you and your followers can make and consume alcohol, which, true to life, causes them to stumble around throwing up, get into fistfights, and destroy shit. I should call her. The tavern's a really cool addition because to make the different types of drinks, you have to go on crusade runs and discover 2 new crop variants. I actually built an entire new farm just to make booze supplies because, we have fun here. And, while we're on the topic of the different drinks you can make, I should inform you that you can in fact make your followers drink a mixed drink of, it's poop. It's poop. There are now several variants of craps your followers can take, which have different bonuses when used as fertilizers. These variants include, but are not limited to, and you know what else is messed up? Is if you're going for purely just trying to build the most sin as possible, having them drink shit is the optimal use of the tavern. Massive Monster is an excellent company, but there's someone there with a lot of pull and a very questionable search history. The next building added was a drum circle, where you can play this Guitar Hero minigame to give a huge boost to a follower's sin. And you know, while we're on the topic of essentially cursing your followers just so that you can do some redecorating around the church, as it would turn out, they don't like it. I discovered this with my first follower and beloved husband, Charles. We got into one of those classic married arguments where he got mad at me for leading him astray and growing a sentient evil inside his soul. Which, I mean, like, I was gonna take it right out, so I don't really know why. I don't get why he got so pissed about it. Well, anyways, he, cursed me and abandoned the cult and then, tried to murder me several times using his, scary new sin powers. But, we talked it out and, it's like nothing even happened. In all reality, though, this was actually me getting lucky. Most of the time you're gonna have to, put that sucker down. But you can just resurrect him and then, it's chill again. Actually, there is another thing. At the end where you either kill or spare the follower, you actually get an additional sin. And also, if you do end up sparing them, you get a chance to recustomize them, which is something you normally have to pay 1 sin for. So, looking at it big picture, there's no lasting downsides, if any, and there's obvious pluses. So not only is it okay to damn the souls of your followers, it's actually optimal. The last and most exciting use for sin is the subtly named breeding tent, where you can choose 2 of your followers and put them together, and, shall we say, take a frolic. Perhaps, to put it simply, sex. Your followers then have a chance to lay an egg, which you can nurture into a brand new follower. Now that's how you make a really good cult. You start with recruiting a first generation, right? And then you make them have kids with each other. And now you have babies that don't know anything except the cult. Now that's where you get your loyal followers. What, you think little Craigery's gonna defect? His bloodline hasn't left the compound in 3 generations. He doesn't know anything. There's nowhere to go. It's a harsh world out there. He's like 5 minutes away from being follower meat. He's not going anywhere. You can also choose what traits you want from the parents to pass down to the kid, which is great because if you would have asked me and the rest of the fan base what we wanted from the next major update, 9 times out of 10, you would have heard selective breeding and light eugenics. And baby, it's in there. We got it. One complaint, though, is that you yourself cannot participate. Only observe. Which is a disappointment for 2 reasons. 1, I feel like a major part of any cult is God always says the leader has to have sex with everybody's wives. It's like Cult 101. The other thing is that you can't have a child with Neriander. I don't care how many updates it takes or how long I have to wait. Me and him are going in that tent and somebody's getting pregnant. And I'm not sure who. I haven't really figured out all the hardware we're working with here, but sooner or later, we're gonna be working with it. The new follower changes are really... Yeah, in the new update, followers can be dickheads and do stuff like randomly assault you, mug you, or just straight up commit murder. Which in all fairness, I suppose I may have set something of an example. Besides Sin Gathering, there's some more great additions to the game. First of all, Sozo's back. He has his own questline that eventually ends with him giving you a ritual that makes a follower of your choice immortal. You just have to, rescue enough mushroom followers. And I mean, it takes a lot. Like, you'll think you've gotta be done, and it's still a few more, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Next, and possibly one of the best additions, is custom outfits for your followers. I never would have pegged myself for someone who gets excited to basically play dress up, but you better believe, former god of death or not, Nariander is putting on the goddamn maid dress. Last, but certainly not least, is the one and only, but very notable change to combat. The Lamb has a gun. The blunderbuss is a pretty solid weapon. The ammo mechanic regenerates very quickly, so you can spam it just enough that it's fun, but that ammo is still a mechanic. The charge attack is one of the better ones, and the best in terms of range. Very good for breaking shields. And I also appreciate just how personal it feels. The only downside to the weapon is, while it feels really strong against trash mobs, it feels a little weak against bosses, but overall it's a very fun addition to the weapon roster. The update as a whole has added a new breath of life into the cult building aspect of the game. With the festivals, children, and customization, I feel like I'm building up and running a community rather than just grinding up stats and decorating. The last two updates of the game have both made awesome strides into objectively upgrading the game and making me rediscover why I poured so many hours into it. And I think that's something that very few games can pull off to this level. I don't have a lot to say in terms of negatives about the update. They did, just like last time, break some shit. Not as much as they did last time. Like, in the confession booth, it looks like there's no options, but it's just invisible, and it still works. Other notable glitches are randomly unlocking every single secret outfit instantaneously and repeatedly. And I don't know if this one's actually new to the update, but if you kill one of the bishops too quickly, and specifically I've had this happen with Hecate, she'll just, like, respawn. She's not actually, like, she's not gonna hit you, or, like, she can't hit you, rather, but it is weird. And sometimes the follower quest overlay gets a little wacky, but it's a lot more stable than the last one, so that's good. The only real negative is now there's a level cap for followers. They can't go above level 10, which I know from being on the subreddit, there are some people that were, like, their whole thing was getting an entire cult of people that are, like, level 100 followers, which, I imagine we're all scaled down without warning, so that's rough for those guys. But in place of higher levels, you can now turn a follower into a disciple, where they get a halo, so I mean, that's pretty cool. Final negative, and this isn't a very serious one, every time they update the game, they add new achievements, so it knocks it out of my 100% game showcase on Steam. I'm trying to represent one of my favorite games, and I almost feel like they're fucking with me. Overall, another amazing update to the game. I look forward to getting 100% completion for the third time, and I mean that unironically. This is the only game I make update videos for, and it's one of the only games I can fire up out of random boredom, and suddenly I have work in 3 hours. For the base game and each major update, there's a little cosmetic DLC you'll find. It's about a few dollars, and I buy it every time, because I want to support the game. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it, or at least keep an eye out for when it goes on sale. Alright, now before I end the video, I just wanted to say some stuff. Addressing my last video, holy shit. I was absolutely blown away by how big that number got. I was expecting that video to just maybe do alright, you know, it's kind of a more niche game, and I was admittedly pretty late to the party on it, so this was insane. If you enjoyed that last video and this one, consider sticking around because there's going to be a lot more to come. And if you want even more than that, there's a couple links in the description. First of all, I have a Discord where I'll occasionally post updates or video ideas. Next is my Twitter account where you will receive what to many people in my life is Asperger's ridden outbursts, but to you will be slightly better formatted, handcrafted messages of the brain parasite that's trapped within me. But the most important thing I wanted to say was thank you for watching and enjoying the content. I spent a lot of time on this and I care about it a lot, and it really means a lot that people do actually watch it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some important research to return to. Until next time, friends.